everybody, it's me, Nate, aka Devil Dog, and I'm back with another game review. I want to first of all say I'm sorry it's taken me so long to get this review out. I had a lot of other stuff fall on my plate, and I really wanted to dig deep and play through this entire game before I did my review on it and give you my final words. I am reviewing The Sinking City. I decided to rent this title instead of buy it because I didn't really think I wanted to pay the money for this particular title because I didn't think I'd like it, but I still definitely applaud the fact it's actually a physical release. If you're a fan of physical releases like I am and Brett Hicks is, you'll realize that it's always a good day when you actually get a physical release copy of a game. But is The Sinking City a good game? Or should this be swept under a bunch of barnacles and sent out to the sea to drown? Well, stay tuned to my review to find out. Hello everybody, it's me, Nate, aka Devil Dog, and I'm back for another game review. This time I'm reviewing The Sinking City. It was developed by Frogwares and published by Big Ben Interactive and was released on the PlayStation 4, Xbox One, PC, and the Nintendo Switch on June 27th of 2019. It is considered an action-adventure/mystery horror game heavily inspired by the works of H.P. Lovecraft, where this game you play as a war veteran turned to private investigator known as Charles W. Reed, who is trying to solve the mystery of terrifying visions and missing people that are plaguing him and others in a fictional city of Oakmont, Massachusetts during the 1920s. Your quest will take you throughout the open world of flooded Oakmont through 7 different districts, some of them that require boats to reach due to the severe flooding, considering that this town is sinking. Along the way, you'll gather items, fight enemies, pick up clues, and solve mysteries in Shirlock Holmes style. And it makes perfect sense considering the developer that made this game made all the other Sherlock Holmes titles. And it really makes a lot of sense considering how the aspect of how you actually solve the mysteries in this game, because the outcomes will change based on how observant you are with all the items that you locate, all the clues, how you look at them, and how you combine them together to make your synopsis of what's going on. Now, it also has something known as a sanity mechanic in it, where it's used to reconstruct crimes and stuff like that. You have this special ghost mode, basically, you'll bring up. It'll help you see the pretty much silhouettes and ghost images of what happened. That'll help you place together and piece the parts of the puzzle together for all these mysteries to figure out what was causing these people to go insane and what exactly happened with them. Now, you got to be careful, though, because as you're using this sanity meter, it will go down over time. And as you use it to reconstruct the crimes, it does lower. And as you go through, you'll have hallucinations where you'll find monsters you'll have to fight. And when you normally fight them, that'll take a big dip in your sanity mechanic. And you'll have to either let it raise back over time or use antipsychotic drugs to refill it back up normally. Now, in this game, you also fight enemies and people, and the fighting is very slow and frustrating. It's a very sloppily done mechanic of the fighting in this. And the bullets are very, very rare. It seems to be better to use your melee attack than the actual bullets, because the bullets seem to be better to barter with. People, since they're stuck on this town and they can't leave due to the flooding and all the weirdness that's going on with sections being closed off to the public, you pretty much barter with your bullets that are way better than actually shooting enemies. The enemies' animations are fairly decent, and the art style, like I said, since this is heavily based off H.P. Lovecraft, you have a lot of stuff with Cthulhu-themed enemies in terms of the squid monsters and everything like that, and they're really disturbing and neat. And I do like the aspects of how your character's sanity, how he's pretty much kind of going insane throughout this adventure as well, because you're there also to try to figure out why are you freaking out, along with all these other people as well. And it plays heavily. It's a very slow-paced, methodical type game that has a lot of talking. It has you going and talking with a lot of people. If you played any of the Frogwares previous titles with the Sherlock Holmes series, you'll kind of get the gist of how this game will play. It consists of going to an area that is very well detailed but kind of muddy in terms of the way that it looks. Finding icons that will appear as items that you can look at to help bring up different clues. Then you'll go into these different pages, as I'll call them, of trying to connect these clues together to reconstruct what happened with the use of your sanity mechanic to relive what happened to solve these crimes. And it is a very detailed, open-ended version of their mechanics used in the Sherlock Holmes series. So if you are a big fan of going around and trying to solve murder mysteries like the Sherlock Holmes titles, like I keep saying, this is very well done in that aspect. However, I have to say that hands down, this game is super buggy, super glitchy, even with the multiple patches that I had to install on day one. That makes it to where it's, the lip syncing is very, very off. I mean, it's just so many inconsistencies with the design of this game take away from the overall playability. The load times are god-awful, even worse in the Nintendo Switch version, I've heard. And there's so many times where you can find these spots where it's like the design of the game was just broken. I mean, you'll have enemies that just friggin' appear out of nowhere, and you're like, what the hell? Okay, I guess this is a character spawn point. It's not even a well done one. I mean, you ever heard of monster closets or enemy closets? An area specifically designed for the spawning of a character or enemy. This forgoes this. This just literally has them popping out right frickin' in front of you as you walk around the corner. And it's like, I like the idea of the game. The story they tell is fantastic. The pacing is way too damn slow, but I do love the characters. The art style is fantastic. The enemy development and style is beautifully done, but overall it hampers the gameplay. If it was just like baked way longer, I mean, I swear this game is, the fighting itself is so frustrating. I find myself going, oh great, here comes another enemy. I don't want to fight them even though they look cool as hell. I would have to say that so many aspects of this from the viewpoints of the sanity meter mechanic is very neat. I like how they implement it, and it does lead to some really truly shocking, disturbing images and scenes, which I love when they do that. And the H.P. Lovecraft aspect of all the designs and just the overall story is superb. Hands down, it's the best feature of this game. And the mechanic of the overall mystery solving aspects of the amount of detail they put into the style of solving these, taking the clues, combining them together to solve these mysteries, hands down is the best mechanic of this game. I mean, honestly, the puzzle solving, the Sherlock Holmes-esque of this game, hands down is really what this company is known for in terms of making a game that is a mystery, that you have to be the private investigator, getting all the clues and connecting what happened to figure out where the people are, what happens. It does have a lot of racial stereotypes in it with the different races of these creatures, and it does set the tone considering this does take place in the 1920s to where it does make sense. I don't have a problem with any sort of racial thing if it's done within the aspects of the story and done properly. But if it's something that's just thrown in for shock value, then I would say I dislike it. In this, it makes sense. It flows with the overall narrative of the story, with your characters and how they're developing throughout their adventure and trying to solve these mysteries, figure out what the hell is causing the city to flood and sink. Why is everyone going insane? Why are these monsters around? Why are you hallucinating? And in the end, I would have to say it pleasantly has a fantastically written story. The ability to actually solve these mysteries is the best aspect of this game. The sanity meter is very well implemented to it. I love the way it works, the way you can pull it up as an ability to help you solve these mysteries and help you find clues. And the monster designs are well done, but the damn fighting mechanic is so damn poorly implemented. Every time you see a monster, you're like, cool, they look cool, but this means I'm just going to be frustrated by trying to figure out how to either survive this encounter with them or try to get the hell away from them. In the end, for the overall length of this game, which will take you anywhere from 15 to 20 hours, at the $59.95 price, if you are a huge fan of the original Sherlock Holmes series and you love anything that is H.P. Lovecraft themed, I would say if you can get past the glitchiness, get past the wonkiness, and some of the bad design practices of how they made this game in terms of the fighting mechanic, it's just god awful. I would say rent this first. Rent this, pick it up, rent it for a couple days or a weekend and play it. And if you like it, then go pick it up. I can't say it's worth the price. For just the overall style of game this is, you might not like it due to its pacing and overall gameplay structure. But hands down, the aesthetic, the level designs, the characters and the way they're developed, I absolutely love that aspect, but I cannot recommend this game to really just about anyone due to the terms of the style of gameplay that it has. This is a murder mystery style game. It is very slow paced, and while it has a huge game world for you to go and explore, it consists of going to point A, point B, collecting items, compiling them together, using your powers to try to connect them together to solve the mystery, moving on, rinse and repeating. But the only aspect I say that carries you through is the art style of the game world and the overall writing and story. They're top notch, but the fighting, oh my god, the fighting is terrible. So I can honestly say my final verdict is pass on this game. Do not buy it unless you're a huge fan of the original Sherlock Holmes series that is made by this company, Frogwares. But definitely, if you're interested in an H.P. Lovecraft style game, rent it. Go to your local Redbox. Go to your local video store. Yes, they do still exist. And rent this title so you can play it for yourself and see if you can get past all of its problems. This was Nate, aka Devil Dog. I want to thank each and every one of you for watching these videos. Hit that like icon, it really helps my channel out a lot. Hit the bell icon and modify it to stay up to date whenever I release any new videos. And remember, I always end my videos by saying, have fun, play hard, and remember people, the devil is in the details. Peace out.
Put the gun down now. 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 Put the gun down now.